everybody. Peace and blessings. This video we're going to talk about never taking a plea and why you shouldn't take a plea until subject matter jurisdiction has been established. And it's unfortunate that most of us assume that the powers that be and the de facto system has jurisdiction over us, and we've never really even taken a look at what jurisdiction we should reside in. And if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about and so forth, then you've got some other studying to do, and I would encourage you to do that so you can really go over standing who you are and get to a point of realizing that ye are gods. You are queens and kings that are walking this earth, and you have submitted to and acquiesced to a lesser position just out of pure ignorance and just not really knowing what's going on in our society. And if you're one of those people that really don't get the part when I talk about jurisdiction and who you are, there is a series of archives that we have on our TalkShoe channel. I think it's episode 1 through 3 that goes into kind of giving you some education and some things you may want to take a look at as far as your status is concerned. And you can get to that by going to truewealthsociety.com/talk show. So the reason that I'm doing this video is I have a dear friend of mine who just she got a traffic ticket a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and she had a court date today, and I was supposed to go with her. However, I didn't get a chance to make it. And so basically she was going to give me power of attorney, and I was going to go in and speak on her behalf, but it didn't work out that way. And so I tried to coach her over the phone and tell her what to do. She didn't do anything that I told her to do. She actually took a plea. Now, I'm looking in Black's Law 6th edition, and I'm looking under the word plea, and we know basically civil and criminal charges are all charged as criminal. So when you look under criminal pleas, the definition says, this is out of Black's Law 6th edition, the defendant's response to a criminal charge, guilty, not guilty, or nolo contendere, or contest. If a defendant refuses to plead, or if a defendant corporation fails to appear, the court shall enter a plea of not guilty, which we know that can't be done because a judge cannot practice law from the bench. But if you don't know that and you don't contest and object to that, then it will happen. It says also federal Rules of Criminal Procedures 11A. See also Alfred plea, arraignment, guilty plea, insanity, nolo contendere, not guilty, plea bargaining, and standing mute. So here's my thought process on this. Before we can get to entering a plea, we have to get to an understanding that you, the court, or whoever I am standing in front of, whoever is bringing charges against me, and charges against me is basically saying that they have a valid claim against me for something, okay? So with a traffic ticket, that claim is saying, hey, I have a claim that you have committed a crime. Okay, fair enough. Now, the second question that goes off in my mind is, okay, if you say I have committed a crime, before we even get to getting to the injured party, let's get to the fact of, do I have a contract with your entity to be subject to your rules, policies, procedures, ordinances, and so forth? Is there a valid contract somewhere in existence? Now, for most that have not gone through the process to correct the presumptions that are out there, and I'm talking about canceling the contracts with states that issued you your state birth certificate and canceling all other adhesion contracts. For most people, those things still exist because we know on a large scale that the mass of people are still asleep. They are waking up, and I applaud those of you that are out there helping people to wake up, because we need more people to wake up and to stand up and to really shift the paradigm in our society. And I feel wholeheartedly that this will take place, and it is taking place as we are speaking. And we'll see come really, really soon the shift, just kind of on a personal level. So anyways, before we can even get to entering a plea, we have to get to an agreement of, do you have jurisdiction over me? And so there's, a couple of I won't confess to be a court traffic expert, because I'm not. I have only been into a traffic court once. As most of you know that have followed the channel, I have a traffic case coming up for some events that happened about a month ago, and so that will be really, really interesting. My angle with that will be to settle the matter privately and to never enter the de facto court system ever again, because in fact, because I am a diplomatic immunity, I'm not a diplomatic immunity, I'm a diplomat, and I have diplomatic immunity. I am not supposed to go into the de facto court system, as that can be taken as an act of war, and we definitely don't want to go to war with these individuals. We want to settle our affairs and settle our matters as civilly as possible, and to settle it privately so that we're not in their court system. So, even before we get to establishing subject matter jurisdiction, one of the things that I recommended was a private administration process before the court date even took place. However, that didn't take place in this situation, so she had to actually go to court. She is an individual that does have adhesion contracts in place. She has not corrected her status and corrected the presumptions that are out there. So she is one of those 14th Amendment corporation franchises that has to adhere to those rules, policies, procedures, and ordinances and acts and anything else they decide to come up with. Even with that being in place, a couple of things that I would have done. Now, first of all, she pleaded nolo contendere. And let me say this before we go into what she pleaded. Think about this. Why has the word innocent been taken from de facto court system? Why did that word get removed? You remember it used to be guilty, innocent, right? Well, let me look the word innocent up, and it always interests me when those in that jurisdiction say you're innocent until proven guilty. However, there is no plea for innocent. The only pleas are guilty, not guilty, or nolo contest, which all submit to that jurisdiction. Innocent. Hold on. Okay. Now the word innocent from Black's Law 6th edition says, free from guilt, acting in good faith, and without knowledge of incriminatory circumstances or of defects or objections. Now, this also says C, not guilty. Okay? But that's something to ponder, and maybe something you'll want to research. Why was the word innocent taken out of the de facto court system? So anyway, she pled nolo contest, and we're going back and forth on text, and she's telling me I pled nolo contest so that they wouldn't take any points or something, points or whatever against her driving record, her driver's license, because I believe if you get so many points on your driver's license, then you get your driver's license revoked, which is good because you're not supposed to even have a driver's license. 99.9% of people that are traveling out here on the public highways are not required to have a driver's license. Look up, I believe it's in, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's in Title 18. You can also look in your state codes, and you can look in the transportation, it's motor transportation, something like that. Look in your state code as well, and you can find those definitions of driver, motor vehicle, and so forth and so on. In most instances, if you're not driving a taxi cab where you have paying passengers, or a limo where you have paying passengers, or an 18-wheeler, transporting cargo or something to that nature, you're not required by law to have a driver's license. It's pure profit for the states. It is pure profit. And then that driver's license is also the nexus that allows them to bring these other charges as well against you. Charges means claims, so these other claims against you, so that they can create revenue for their city or county or whatever. So that's that. And then one last thing I'd like to say on the video is that she was also told, this just shows you how much of a scam, and this is pure extortion in my opinion. And I don't just throw out words that I cannot back up with proof and fact. I can prove in this case, and in almost every case, traffic case, that it is pure extortion, because there is never an injured party. It is simply a means of that particular entity to generate revenue from ignorant people. And don't take the word ignorant offensive. It's not meant to be offensive. It just means not knowing. You don't know, so you're ignorant to what the law is. That's all that means. But this is pure extortion. Her ticket was for a lane change, an illegal lane change. She was in a lane that was going forward. There was a left-hand only lane. She was in that lane. And then there was a lane to the right that was going forward. So the lane that she was in, she was supposed to turn left. She put her signal on because she noticed, I'm not in the right lane. I don't need to turn left. I need to continue forward. So she put her right signal on, and she waited for permission from that driver behind her, or that traveler. I don't know if they're a driver, but the traveler behind her was kind enough to let her in that lane, and she got over. And that's when the cherries went on, and she got a ticket for an illegal lane change. Now, she feels in her heart that she is innocent of a crime. And I know that she's innocent of a crime. And my question to her was, if you feel that you're innocent of a crime, why are you going in there and taking a plea? Because your plea is pleading with the court to have mercy on you. That's what your plea is. And again, I can understand this stuff, because if you don't know what you don't know, you're just, most people are just wanting to get the stuff over with. They don't want it to linger on and on and on. But another thing I told her, I said, if you're going to take a plea, plead not guilty and go to a trial by jury. This is what I said over the phone earlier before she went to court. She didn't do that. She did no contest. So now she did no contest. They want $300 or 12 months probation, including community service, for trumped up charges with no injured party. again, extortion. So there is also one last thing, and this is available to our members of the True Wealth Society. There is a notice of offer to pay, and this is a contract that goes to the judge for traffic tickets or whatever, and it can be modified for really anything that you are demanded to pay. So as we know it in our society since 1933, and it started brewing in 1912 with the Federal Reserve Act, but in 1933, when Roosevelt took lawful money off the books, gold and silver was taken away and replaced with fiat currency, debt instruments, Federal Reserve notes. We as people have not had the ability to pay any. We are only discharging and swapping debt. And so this notice of offer to pay that goes to the judge is basically a contract stating how do you proceed, how do you expect me to pay, basically. And it's a contract that gets them pretty much in a default situation where that ticket can still go away. So there is still a remedy and resolution for this young lady that if she has the wherewithal to use it, it can benefit her, and she's not having to work. I don't know how many hours she would have to work to create 300 Federal Reserve notes, but, even if it was 20 minutes for something that she is innocent of any type of crime, it's too much time, and it's again, extortion. So again, that letter, the contract that I'm speaking about is in our True Wealth Society download documents for our members. If you're not a member, it's something you may want to consider. We focus a lot on lawful ways to discharge debt and lots of other things around that in dealing with the de facto system and just ensuring that we're living at peace, that we're living to our highest potential, and we're living in prosperity and abundance. And this is the reason why we were created by our Creator, not to be oppressed, not to be extorted, not to be, used as chattel, but to live in peace, harmony, love, and abundance and prosperity. If you're interested in taking a look at the society, feel free to do so. It's truewealthsociety.com. Another thing is every Wednesday we have a free talk show that we do where we go into different elements of law. The series that we're involved in right now is going through mortgages and looking at everything surrounding that, the fraud and the laws and the remedies and resolutions that exist for homeowners. You can get to the channel and all of that. It's Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can get to the channel by going to truewealthsociety.com/talk show. So that is it for this video. Wishing you a great day. Peace and blessings.